Today we are going to cover how to transfer any custom topology to RigX. We're going to open up RigX retargeter. In the first tab we have setup DNA and topo retarget. We have to choose from which topology we want to retarget the data. Today we are going to use MetaHuman topology and RigX topology. For us, old topology is MetaHuman and new topology is RigX. In the scene, we have a fitted character with both topologies, one-on-one. We are going to name the file, or rather name the folder, RigX_topo, and click Create Mapping File. Click OK. And that is it for the first part. Second part would be to transfer skin data to the new topology. Since we have some bones in the neck area that need to have skinning. Once we click that, we have to select head mapping. Double click on that, and next is select skin cluster for asset. Since we are using the head only, we are going to select head load nulla skin. Now the skin data is transferred successfully. In this step, we will have to reopen the retargeter to refresh it basically and see the new topo arrays. Now you can see RigX topo. In the second tab, we have DNA topo retarget. Now we don't need anything in the scene. And we're going to select RigX topo. We don't have to put old and new topology now, since we are not going to do topology fitting, but rather we are just going to create DNA files for the new topology. Once we click on that, we have to select the DNA file. Like we previously said, it's for the head asset, and we are just going to select that. After that, we have to select topo mapping file, which is the first one, head mapping, which we can double click. That takes us to the loading bar, where we need to wait until it gets calculated. Now that is done, we have to select the folder for the character. We can find the project, click on the folder, and go to Select Folder button. After that, we have a successful message and we can move to the next steps. If I open the folder, we can see here RigX head, and we can see how much of a space it takes. Depending on the density of the topology, it's going to take less or take more space on the drive. In the blend shapes neutral folder, you can see here we only have the head, which will be more than enough for this test and showcase. After that, we can test the rig. Since we already have set up project, we can just go to Setup RigX, choose the topology, that would be our new topology, and set up the rig. If we need, we can update the neck joints, like we already covered in a few tutorials. If we don't need that, we can just calculate the rig and see how it looks. Now let's test the rig to see if everything is working fine. And we can see some problems here. The reason this type of errors occur is because the fitting was not good. Basically, for the fitting, you would need an open mouth for the first time you fit the new topology, open mouth and slightly closed eyes, so that everything can be vertex on vertex, so you don't get any problems. After that, if you fit multiple characters, it doesn't really matter if the eyes are closed, open, mouth in any expression, or whatever there is, it's going to transfer it perfectly. But for the first time the topology is fitted and mapping files are created, it needs to be very good, and it needs to be vertex on vertex so that transition is perfect. Now we are going to cover the second part, which is how we are transferring the files to new characters once we have the mapping. What Topo Retargeter actually does. Let's put two heads in the scene. One is going to be on the MetaHuman topology, and the second one is going to be on RigX custom topology. To be easier, we are going to rename them, just so we know what we are dealing with. Since we already set up the files, we are going to choose RigX Topo, because that is on what we are going to put the information. We are going to load what the old topo is. For us, it's a MetaHuman topology, and what the new topo is, meaning RigX topology. To make it clear what this does, we are going to adjust the MetaHuman topology drastically and put them in the slot. Clicking on the button, we are going to get to select the mapping files, which is head, and there we have it. It automatically fitted to the expression because we have a transfer of files from MetaHuman to RigX topology. If you scan the character and you have, let's say, 40 plus expressions, you can fit the neutral and do this process for every custom scan you have. You can then transfer one by one every expression, like draw open, blink, squint, whatever you have, and do this process manually.